Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the KitchenAid Refrigerator Water Reservoir. It's going to be a very easy repair and it should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get 4 union connectors and the new water reservoir. The water reservoir is what holds the cold water for the dispenser. The main reason to be changing it out is if it got dirty and moldy, or the water line is cracked and damaged and you're getting water on the floor. In order to get to the part, first thing we're going to do is open up the refrigerator door. With the door open, we can reach down and take the drawers and shelves out. All you have to do is pull the drawers out and then lift them up and then pull them out the rest of the way and set them aside. To take the shelves out, we're going to take the piece of glass out first so we don't drop it. To get the frame out, all you have to do is lift up on it and pull it forward. For the bottom one, we're going to do it the same way. With the shelves out of the way, you can actually see the water reservoir. If you have the old style tank still in there, you can actually just cut the water lines and splice in the new style water reservoir with the connectors that they give you. We can't show you that because we have the new style already. So the first thing we're going to do is disconnect the 2 water lines underneath the refrigerator so we can pull those water lines out. To disconnect the water line underneath the kick plate, first thing we're going to do is open up the freezer door and then we can take the kick plate off. We're going to take a putty knife and carefully get it behind the access panel or kick panel and twist it so we pop it off. It's only held on by a little locking tab on each end. So we're going to pull the other end off and set it aside. Now that we have the kick panel out of the way, we're going to throw a towel down and pull the water line out from the top of the water filter housing. And then we're going to disconnect the one that's on the blue end. It's the 5/16. We're going to take a small wrench and press in that release collar, and then we can just pull it out. Once you have this end disconnected, we can go around the back and disconnect the other line. To get access to the part in the back, we have to take the access cover off. So we're going to use our 1/4" nut driver and take all the screws out. Once you have all the screws out, you can pull the access cover off and set it aside. Now that we have the access cover out of the way, we can pull the line out where it goes through to the front. We already disconnected it up front, but we're going to pull it out. Once you have this water line off, we can disconnect the other water line. The other water line comes out and goes over to the water valve. So we're going to do the same as we did up front with the union. We're going to follow the water tube over to the valve, and this is the one that goes to the water tank is the bigger one, the 5/16. So we're going to take our small wrench, just like earlier, and push up on the locking collar and pull down with our other hand to disconnect the water line. Once you have it out of the water valve, we can carefully take it out of these 2 retainer clips. And then we can go back inside the fridge and pull these up and remove the old water reservoir. Now we're back inside the refrigerator. We're going to take the water reservoir out. You can take a putty knife and remove any silicone that might be around this hole holding these water lines in. Once you have all the silicone out, we can pull the water lines up. Once you have the lines pulled out, we can use a 1/4" nut driver to remove the screw that holds the water reservoir to the back wall. Once you have the screw removed, you can pull the water reservoir out. Here's the old water reservoir next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. To put the new water reservoir in, we're going to put the screw through the little zip tie holder first. Then we're going to kind of guide it in there with the nut driver so it doesn't fall out. Once you have it in place, we can route the water lines down through the hole. There's a little mark on each water line that should give you an idea about how much to feed through. Once you have them down and in place, you want to make sure you fill the hole up with some silicone so no cold air leaks out and your refrigerator runs more than it should. Now that we're on the back side of the refrigerator, we can route these water lines. We're going to grab the longer one and feed it up towards the front of the refrigerator. When you route these, you want to make sure that they don't touch any of these copper lines or the condenser down there, and you want to make sure that it's not going to get hit by the fan blade. So on the longer one, we're going to go through this hole, and this little hole leads it up to the front, and we're just going to feed it through. And then we're going to feed it far enough and make sure that it doesn't hit the fan blade and that it's away from the copper tubing. Once you have that one routed, then we can grab the one that goes over to the water valve. Same as the other one, we're going to make sure it doesn't hit any of the copper lines. And then we can go over to the water valve and plug it into the valve. To get the water line up into the water valve, all you have to do is line it up with the opening and push it up all the way so it seats, goes past the O-ring, and locks into place. Once you have it all the way up, you give it a little pull to make sure it's in there, and then it's not going to come out. Once you have it in place, we can route the water line through these metal clips to hold it in place. Again, making sure that it's not going to hit the copper lines or get hot. Now that we have the water lines hooked up and routed, we can put the access cover on the back of the refrigerator. Remember, you want to make sure that the top goes right underneath the lip right here. And all you have to do is line up the screw holes, and then we can use a corner nut driver to go around and put all the screws in. Now that we have the cover installed, we can go back to the front of the machine. Now that we're back on the front side of the refrigerator, we can reach in and grab the new water line and pull it out. To reconnect it with the union, they put a line on it at the factory to give you an idea about how far it should go in. But the main thing you want to do is make sure you push it straight in, past the water seal, the O-ring, and bottom it out, and then give it a little tug to make sure it's in there. And then we're going to put it back on the top of the water filter housing. And then we can put the kick panel back on. All you have to do is line up the clip on each end and lock it into place. To put these shelves in, be careful. We're going to put it all in as one piece. The glass can fall out, so make sure you don't let it slip out. All you have to do is push it all the way back and set the front on this support post. Once you have the bottom shelf in, then we can put the drawer in. All you have to do is line up the rollers with the rail and push it back into place. The upper shelf and drawer go in the same way. With the shelves back in the refrigerator, we can close the door, plug it back in, and you want to run some water through the dispenser until you get all the air bubbles out, and then you can make sure it starts to cool. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.